Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Okay, so my DVD series continues. This is video number 16 now, and starting with the letter Q. There is a playlist on my channel, you can follow along that way. Here we go. First up we've got Nick Nolte and Armand Assante in Sidney Lumet's Q&A. Next, interesting one this is Quatermass and the Pit. Now this is an interesting Canadian issue which is misspelt. It says Quatermass and the Pit, and it's also suggesting that this is the 3-hour TV series, but it isn't. It is actually the 1967 Hammer film Quatermass and the Pit. Now I do have the TV series, which was done by Nigel Neal, and that is a really excellent series. Complements this one very well. So this one was in colour, the BBC TV series was in black and white. Definitely worth trying to see the BBC series if you can. It's not really available, but I think you can find it on YouTube. But yeah, I have a sort of fan-made DVD of that. But yeah, this is a real balls up in terms of producing a DVD, but great movie nonetheless. The Quatermass Experiment and Quatermass 2. This is a limited series, Alex Haley's The Queen, which follows on from Roots, and then Helen Mirren as the Queen. Really nice one this, Disney movie, Queen of Katwe with Lupita Nyong'o. Based on Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles, this is Queen of the Damned. From director Werner Herzog, this is Nicole Kidman in Queen of the Desert. And a bit of music crept in here. This is Queen on Fire, live at the Bowl. From Jean-Jacques Hano, this is Quest for Fire. And no, not the Sam Raimi movie, but this is Sam Elliott in a TV movie of Louis L'Amour's The Quick and the Dead, also with Kate Capshaw. Joseph L. Mankiewicz's 1958 adaptation of Graham Greene's The Quiet American. This was also remade starring Michael Caine. Really enjoyed this. A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Part 2. Nice little western set in Australia. This is Tom Selleck and Alan Rickman in Quigley Down Under. And with a script by Harold Pinter, this is George Segal and Alec Guinness in the 1966 The Quiller Memorandum. Great movie from director Robert Redford. This is Ralph Fiennes in Quiz Show. And directed by David Hemmings, this is an Australian one, Race for the Yankee Zephyr. A fun action-adventure movie that isn't without its problems. Definitely a few issues on set on this one. Dwayne Johnson in Disney's Race to Witch Mountain, and Dexter Fletcher and Ione Skye in the 1989 The Rachel Papers. Directed by Paul Newman and starring his wife Joanne Woodward, this is Rachel. And directed by, as well as starring Bob Hoskins, this is The Raggedy Rawnie, also starring Dexter Fletcher. Both the Region 1 and the Region 2 DVD special editions of Raging Bull, and Rex Harrison and John Saxon in Raiders of the Sacred Stone. Directed by Lionel Jeffries, this is one of the great children's movies starring Jenny Agutter and Bernard Cribbins, The Railway Children, and Dustin Hoffman, Tom Cruise, Barry Levinson's Rain Man. Burt Lancaster and Katharine Hepburn in The Rainmaker, and Francis Ford Coppola's adaptation of John Grisham's The Rainmaker with Matt Damon. The Coen brothers, Raising Arizona, great fun. And this was quite trashy fun, Dwayne Johnson in Rampage. Akira Kurosawa's Run. And written and directed by Michael Tolkin, this is Mimi Rogers and David Duchovny in The Rapture. Disney Pixar's Ratatouille. From director Antonia Bird, this is Robert Carlyle and Guy Pearce in Ravenous. From director John Irvin, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Raw Deal. And from 2018, set in Birmingham, this is Ray and Liz. Great fun one this from Stuart Gordon, Reanimator. And Kate Winslet and Ralph Fiennes in The Reader, directed by Stephen Daldry. Directed by and starring Ben Stiller with Winona Ryder and Ethan Hawke, Reality Bites. And superb Hitchcock movie Rear Window with Grace Kelly and James Stewart. James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause. I've got this one. It's a really nice 2-disc edition, but I also have the Snapcase edition. Not over keen on this one, to be honest, but it's a bit of fun. Red. The original Red Dawn, directed by John Milius and with Patrick Swayze. Anthony Hopkins reprising his role as Hannibal Lecter in Red Dragon. And from director Wes Craven, this is Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams in Red Eye. Val Kilmer and Carrie-Anne Moss on Mars in Red Planet. And a great twisty neo-noir from John Dahl. This is Red Rock West with Nicolas Cage, Laura Flynn Boyle and Dennis Hopper. From director Joseph Zito, this is Dolph Lundgren in Red Scorpion, quite fun. And the classic Oscar-winning epic from Warren Beatty, Reds. Sybil Danning in Reform School Girls. And disappointing dragon action movie Reign of Fire with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey. Good fun one, this from Peter Hyams. This is Tom Sizemore in The Relic. And from director Mira Nair, this is Kiefer Sutherland and Riz Ahmed, Liev Schreiber in The Reluctant Fundamentalist. Fun one this, shame it didn't become a series, directed by Guy Hamilton. This is Fred Ward in Remo, The Adventure Begins. And directed by Chris Columbus, the musical Rent. From Hammer Films, this is The Reptile. And Quentin Tarantino's debut, Reservoir Dogs. Really good movie from Werner Herzog. This is Christian Bale in Rescue Dawn. And really good fun Scottish comedy this, Restless Natives from 1985. Sadly, its star Vincent Friel has just passed away. From director J. Lee Thompson, this is Maximilian Schell in Return from the Ashes. Enjoyable Disney movie from director John Hoff, Return from Witch Mountain. Sequel to A Man Called Horse, this is The Return of a Man Called Horse with Richard Harris. And another sequel, this is Yul Brynner in Return of the Magnificent Seven. We're on a sequel run, here's Return of the Living Dead 3. But not a sequel, this is Alan Bates and Julie Christie in Return of the Soldier. John Voight, Barbara Hershey, Louis Gossett Jr., Reese Witherspoon in an epic TV series follow-up to Lonesome Dove, Return to Lonesome Dove. And for those of you who have been enjoying Godzilla -1 recently and what Takashi Yamazaki can do with his special effects, maybe you'll want to check this one out, Returner, which was very much inspired by the likes of Terminator and The Matrix. Yeah, quite good fun. Kelly McGillis's film debut, in this one starring Tom Conti, Reuben. And what about that bear scene? This is Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. Tony Scott's mean-spirited revenge thriller with Kevin Costner, Revenge. And for Hammer Studios, this is Peter Cushing in director Terence Fisher's The Revenge of Frankenstein. From director Akira Kurosawa, Richard Gere in Rhapsody in August. And a TV miniseries, The Rhineman Exchange, based on a novel by Robert Ludlum, who wrote the Bourne series. What a pairing, Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton in Rhinestone. And from Highlander director Russell Mulcahy, this is Denzel Washington, John Lithgow and Ice-T in Ricochet. 1970s adventure with Michael York, Jenny Agutter and Simon McCorkindale, The Riddle of the Sands. Drew Barrymore in Riding in Cars with Boys. From director Ken Loach, Robert Carlyle and Ricky Tomlinson in Riff Raff. Love this movie, Philip Kaufman's space race drama, The Right Stuff. And definitely not as good a pairing as it was in Heat. This is Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in Righteous Kill. The TV miniseries of Rillington Place, really good with Tim Roth, Samantha Morton, Jodie Comer. Talked about this one before on my channel, but yeah, definitely watch 10 Rillington Place with Richard Attenborough as well. Both of these are excellent, but I do prefer the movie with Richard Attenborough. Director Gore Verbinski's remake of The Ring, this one with Naomi Watts. And I adore this movie. This is Virginia McKenna and Bill Travers, famous for being in Born Free, but this is another beautiful movie, Ring of Brightwater. Great edition this of classic Howard Hawks Western, Rio Bravo. And John Wayne in Rio Grande. Kicking off the reboot, this is Rise of the Planet of the Apes with James Franco. And from the great director Laura Poitras, this is her documentary on Julian Assange, Risk. Coming to Criterion later this year, this is Tom Cruise in Risky Business. Absolutely love this for the Tangerine Dream score, fantastic, and the lovely Rebecca De Mornay as well. Sissy Spacek and Mel Gibson in The River. And Ray Liotta and Christian Slater, The River Murders. Lovely, gentle movie this, directed by Robert Redford, Craig Sheffer, Brad Pitt, Emily Lloyd as well in A River Runs Through It. And directed by David LaChapelle, this is Rise. Great Australian movie this. This is Road Games, starring Stacey Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis, directed by Richard Franklin. Perhaps most people will be more familiar with this cover. And this is a little scene movie, I think probably because of the music rights. But yeah, this is Glenn Plummer in Road Kings. From director Sam Mendes, Tom Hanks and Paul Newman in Road to Perdition. And the first film that was ever filmed in CinemaScope. This is from 1953, Richard Burton and Gene Simmons in The Robe. Love this movie, British movie, heist movie with Stanley Baker, directed by Peter Yates. This is Robbery. He went on from doing this movie to do Bullet. Both movies have great car chases. Walt Disney's Robin Hood. And from director Ridley Scott, this is Russell Crowe as Robin Hood. Should be showing this with my Blu-rays really, but it's in a DVD case. This is Kevin Costner in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And Pierce Brosnan as Robinson Crusoe. John Burke in RoboCop 3. I have the original RoboCop as a Criterion edition. I don't have RoboCop 2. Tom Cruise in Rock of Ages. Nice fun one this, from director Joe Johnston. This is Bill Campbell, Alan Arkin, Jennifer Connelly and Timothy Dalton in The Rocketeer. And Lloyd Bridges in the low-budget Rocket Ship XM. And then we have the Rocky Saga. So this is not actually the complete saga because it's obviously carried on, but we've got Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, and Rocky Balboa. Okay, I will leave it there. Please let me know any comments you have on those movies. Please like, subscribe, and remember there is a playlist on my channel as well, so you can follow along that way just in case you've missed any. Okay, hope to see you again. All the best to you. Bye-bye.